House Republicans plan to pull out all the stops, the article over at Raw Story says, in an effort to discredit Jack Smith with a multi-pronged, scorched earth attack on the special counsel, including issuing subpoenas and cutting funding to his office. Jim Jordan is trying to get Smith to testify or provide information about the investigation, presumably that he can then pass along to Trump's lawyers. All options are on the table, Jordan said. And then Kevin McCarthy, oh my God. This is the same Kevin McCarthy who said, you know, it's not a big deal. Bathrooms can be locked. From the inside, you idiot. Anyhow, Kevin McCarthy yesterday said, speaking of Jack Smith, he said, why did he think President Trump should be treated differently than anybody else? I think the American public does need to know. Well, Trump should be treated differently than anybody else because anybody else didn't steal top secret classified information and pass it along to the Russians and the Saudis and leave it out in public where anybody could steal it and photograph it, et cetera, et cetera. Come on, Kevin. You know better than this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, again, as I mentioned in the first hour, a woman who I believe has a very real chance of being indicted around January 6th, who asked for a pardon, you'll recall, says that Trump is very supportive of the idea of using the power of the purse strings to hobble Smith. Right. She wants the Freedom Caucus to take an official position. Everybody's open to it, she says. It's all about appropriations. In other words, we can cut off his funding. That's the only power Republicans have is appropriations, and so that's where I think we have to work. And then Matt Gaetz jumps in. He says, it's something I believe in, and I hope House Republicans will rally to that as a legislative device. Right. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert on Tuesday introduced articles of impeachment against President Joe Biden. She threatened to use a privileged motion. Now, she introduced articles of impeachment against Biden in the last session as well. And, you know, they didn't go anywhere. She's introducing them again. And she says if Kevin McCarthy doesn't move this thing along, if it doesn't make it out of committee, she's going to try and bring it to a floor vote with a privileged motion. Right, good luck with that. She says, it's about Joe Biden's failure to secure the southern border. Right. She goes on to say, given the severity of the violation of Joe Biden's constitutional oath to faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. This is something that we must do with our majorities in the House of Representatives. It's our duty because Joe Biden has neglected the constitutional duty of the office of the President of the United States. Hey. Is she going to survive the next election in Colorado? She won the last one by, what, 500 and some odd votes? I don't know. I have a feeling that in 18 months or so, we're going to see a very, very different Congress. Knock